Hello, everyone. So satisfying. Just, just give me a moment to sort of soak it in. All right, moment's over. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Let me know in the comments. There'll be a delay. I'll read it. I'll go through them. Disclaimers before we start. This is a live stream. If you don't like live streams, get out of here. No. Look, I can't change this out of the fact. During the live stream, feel free to suggest ideas. I may not take your suggestions. However, if there are audio issues, please do let me know because I will have no idea. I have this in my ear. I can't hear anything through it until I actually start playing anything. What I'm saying, no idea. How the audio levels relate to each other between what I'm saying when I'm playing through my computer, no idea. Not a clue. So, as always, there's that disclaimer. Nothing I'm going to discuss is going to be actual legal advice. I don't know what I'm going to discuss. I have no idea if that's even going to apply, but I like to throw that out there. Donations, of course, if you are unable to donate, do not feel bad. I'm totally cool with that. Just say nice things in the comment section or don't, Be an active viewer. It's totally cool. Totally cool. But I say that because one guy got really angry once upon a time that I was accepting donations, so I like to remind people, please don't if you don't want to. You'd think that would be obvious, right? But in fact, I'm pretty sure that is what started what we're about to talk about today. But before we talk about that, I am going to go through the comments for the first few minutes, which is the next few minutes. I didn't really need to stop and correct myself to allow people the time to sort of trickle in to this before we start discussing the topic that is up for discussion. So, let me see what is happening. I'm a little bit late, by the way. I apologize. It's because my computer is like, your graphics card isn't right. It is right. Well, it's old. And Best Buy is rolling out the graphics card I want tomorrow, and I can't get it because I'm going to be at work. So, we'll see if I can't send someone to replace me. We'll find out. Anyway. What are you all saying? Hi, Sky Pope. You were so excited I responded. So, hello. Anthony Littman says Blue Bacon live before hockey. Good choice and good choice. I do love me some hockey. Sabi? I think I'm pronouncing that right. You were very active in my comment section. I appreciate the advice that you gave to the individuals because it was good advice. Whether or not they actually believed any of it, I don't know, but it was good advice. Artie's corporate fiction, good to have here, of course. Excellent stuff. Can I hire you? You wanna be my attorney in this? Pretty sure I can't do that. Anyway. Bobby. That boy ain't right. Dang it, Bobby. Anna Hugh. Just going through real quick. Oh, you did reply a few days ago. I haven't gotten around to replying to your reply. You know how it is. Civil War times. Messages are slow. That's not the reason. Anyway, yeah, first few minutes are just a bunch of nonsense, folks. But I digress. Hank's Corner, thank you so much. Says still waving at the bacon haters with one finger. Thank you so much. Carlos, thank you so much as well. Says, let me get angry. Have a beer on me. I will. Any recommendations? Because I'm always up for trying new beer. I am not picky. Even if it's one I don't like. If it's like a style I don't like. Maybe there's something in that style that I will like. And then that will sort of open me up to diversify my bonds within that style of beer. So if you're like, well, does he like IPAs? Let's find out. Anyway, if you have suggestions. Pedmets, always good to have you here. Thank you so much. I'm getting tangled up. It says, hello from Florida, where all the people from New Jersey go to live. I can't argue with that. Beer and pizza for you and Rennie on me. Rennie, let me know. I'll order you something. But yeah, it's good to be here. Good to be talking to all of you again. You know how much I like doing these live streams. Ubatha, thanks so much. Says, stay safe, brother. JTAC life. JTAC. It's the joint training, right? Am I right? Or am I thinking of something else? I was looking at a bunch of army memes that a friend was sending me. And I'm like, am I just confusing acronyms? Because there's so many acronyms. There's too many acronyms. I can't type my fat little thumbs. I was wrong, but it was a military thing. All right. I'm getting my acronyms confused. You know how it is. But thank you so much. Melissa, thank you so much. Says, where's the damning evidence? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, let's find out, shall we? Richard Crabb, thank you so much as well. Says, stay strong, my friend. You're doing an incredible job with the whole thing. I like to think so. Extra Good Citizen, thank you so much. Says, were you an actor in Blue's Clues? I haven't heard that one in a while. I was not. But if they reboot it, I'm in. Let's go. So, let's talk about what happened. I had a series of short videos. I'm making a bunch of short videos so I can also film and edit the Green River Killer stuff, which hopefully I'm going to have a little bit of footage to release. Not a full episode, just a little teaser soon. And of course, the bulk of the bits I'm going to release before the episode is out is going to go on my Patreon. And it's not a cheap part of my Patreon because those funds go directly in to the equipment for that project. So don't worry, you'll see it. It just gets it to you beforehand. It's just that if you're paying into it, you're going to get something out of it, of course. So I was making these short videos, and some of them were about what some people might call Karens. Now, Karen being a term for an individual who's acting more entitled than they really have any right to act, to the point of either, it's humorous and or it's criminal. So I made a couple videos pretending to be sports announcers where one of them spoke like this and the other one sort of talks like this a bunch. And they're based on sort of real people. This voice came out first, and I found an announcer that for sports, football maybe, baseball, that kind of sounded like that. And that's the guy that's usually on the left in these videos. And then this guy's a NASCAR guy. Someone's like, that kind of looks like Dr. Phil. It's not supposed to. I did give them little mustaches, so it wasn't like an exact copy. Rennie remembers who it is. It was her suggestion. But I was making those videos. And this individual, frankly, who may have been CP, the guy who originally was like, you can't accept donations. You are also been accused of rape, which is not true, by the way. He goes, you're sexist. These videos are sexist. You're a bad person. I went, no, they're actually not sexist. All I'm doing is analyzing what other people have taken, assigned the label of Karen to, and determining who's really wrong, if anyone's wrong. That's it. I'm not assigning that label. I don't think I actually ever called them Karens in the videos. The title has Karen so that people will find it, right? Because I take it basically out of these compilations and then analyze it. I'm going to pause right there to address a very generous donation from Angry Drunk Bumblebees, who says, the topic of donations came up on Discord. Can you please confirm that the money you get are going towards an evil lair with AC and preferably under a volcano or at least a giant space laser? Hi, CP. Love it. This is my evil lair. Ooh, yeah. So it is going to this. The air conditioner has been purchased and it is being used to great effect. So, but yes, it is. Most of the money goes back into this channel. Of course, sometimes people donate money, as we've already seen today, to go buy yourself a nice little treat, a nice little bit of food, and I do take you up on that. That's unfortunately. Anyway, but thank you. So, hi Max Powers, hi everyone. I'm seeing a lot of very familiar faces, names. It's good to have you all here. So, he was upset, and I was like, no, you're wrong. Sorry. And he's like, you're very aggressive. No, I maybe a little sassy, but not aggressive, right? I wasn't insulting. It was just, no, that's not how that works. Straight to the point. maybe a little sass. I don't remember exactly. And they go, "Oh, sure, you hate women. Well, I'm going to tell your employer about this. Yeah, they're going to learn." Oh, okay, sure. And then they comment and go, "Who's your employer?" It's just so stupid. Don't threaten to go to my employer and then ask for my employer, because I just like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to tell you that. No. So, oh, God, Aaron, no. Thank you. Aaron says, donates $5 and says, you should be able to get a few cans of Four Loko with this, even after YouTube's cut. YouTube does take 30%, which is why we also make a PayPal account available. And Rennie actually controls that one. So she uses that when I'm like, I'm busy. Can you take care of this records request? So she'll, it's great. She's my rock, my anchor in this dark and turbulent world. Anyway, so frankly, was getting really upset. I went, okay, well, no, that's not the case. Well, and he goes, well, you're a terrible person because you were accused of domestic assault, and you never served in the military, and you weren't real this, and you weren't real that, and all of that's wrong. I've never been accused of domestic assault or any of these crimes that people have alleged. I've never committed any of them. I've never been convicted. I've never been investigated for them. Well, none of that is true. I did serve in the military, as I think is pretty well established. Served for about 6 years. I'm still serving the National Guard. Anyway, so they make these accusations, and myself and many of you stayed pretty nice, which I appreciate. I like to see you guys be nice, right? Said, give us the evidence, give us the evidence. And the evidence was supposed to come out today at 5 o'clock. I assume Eastern, because that's a different date. We'll get to that. So 5, I think, p.m. at some point today. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then it changed to Tuesday. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then that account disappeared. And an account with my name and my image popped up and basically made a false confession saying, I actually was investigated for this. I was never in the military. I had done this. The reason I was never convicted is because of witness intimidation, et cetera, et cetera. That's a problem. So first of all, using my image is copyright infringement. And I know there was a lot of discussion in my comment section about whether or not that was copyright infringement. It is. Once I create that image, it's mine. That copyright belongs to me automatically. As long as I can prove that I am the original owner, and I can, because I made sure I could, I own that copyright. Nobody else gets to use that image without my permission, unless I surrender it to the public domain or sell the rights or give the rights away, etc. Or with my permission, but we already covered that. So you can't use that image. And some people were like, well, it's a logo, so wouldn't that fall under trademark? That's a great question. Now, trademark, if I'm understanding this correctly, and lawyers in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of a slogan, or if the logo is a word, right? So like Vogue, they use the name Vogue is the logo, but it's also a word. So when can you not use Vogue in the context of a product commercially, right? If I had like a brand of apples called Vogue apples, I could probably get away with that. But if I had a brand of socks that I called Vogue socks, I probably couldn't, because Vogue is related to fashion. Now, you could argue that Vogue isn't a fashion line. It's actually print media, which is, okay, probably more accurate. If I published a web series called Vogue, they'd stop me, because like that violates a trademark. Trademark, you do have to file. Trademark, you can have cover the actual name plus anything similar to it, or the image plus anything similar to it. So the Ralph Lauren polos, right? It's got the guy on the plain polo. If I had a series of shirts of the guy, smacking hedgehogs with a tennis racket as the logo, could they come after me because the image is too similar? Maybe, right? Trademark is a much sort of broader, more difficult thing, I think. Pretty sure. Copyright, not so much. Copyright's very simple. If it's art and I've created it, it is mine. So, and a lot of you had some very great discussions about that, and I really love to see you guys sort of going back and forth about it. Fantastic. But if I'm correct, I've done a bit of research into this before I started this channel, during the channel, and of course now. It's a Camelback. That's copyright infringement. Ooh, not very scary, right? But there are civil penalties to it, of course. Now, the false confession pretending to be me, that is defamation. That's defamation, I believe, per se, because it's a direct statement that is false, that is a threat to my reputation, that actually does have the potential to have monetary damages, which certainly caused me to devote time, which is worth money, to dealing with it. There was some concern that the damages could not be proven, which is not true. I would argue that the potential can be proven. The time spent can be proven. I did lose a couple subscribers over this because I was getting too involved. That could be argued that I did actually have a loss. But it could be counter-argued that the loss was because of me making this very public. Although it could be counter-argued that I made this very public to prevent, the degradation of my reputation, so that nobody could be like, "Oh, he's trying to hide it." But we'll keep moving in a second, because Aaron had a very generous donation. No, we already covered that one, but he did. That was the Four Loko one. Sorry, Aaron. It skips, and sometimes I lose my place. McAddicts has a generous donation. Thank you so much. It says, I picture Blue actually has a Scrooge McDuck style vault for our donations. I wish. Not yet. No. No. I wish. Fantastic, though. But where was I? Sorry, I'm just going through. So anyway, so yeah, they did this. Their channel went away very, very quickly. I did manage to document it. Second one popped up, did the same thing, went away very quickly. Frankly's account disappeared. The guy who sort of started the whole "you're sexist" thing. His account was gone. CP's account disappeared. So it was weird that all these accounts just shoot at the same time, which led me to believe that maybe all of them are the same person. Now, I think that it could be the same person. I think it's more likely to be at least two people. An account called Homosexuality, nothing against homosexuals or homosexuality, popped up. That was the name of the account. And they started up on the same thing. They made a lot of the same statements. I'm like, oh, it's this person again. Frankly came back as someone called Mr. US. It was a Mr. and then a US flag. It showed up on my computer as Mr. US, so I call it Mr. US. On a cellular device, it would have been Mr. American flag. So Mr. US started going, "Oh, you hate the gays," because I was like, no, this homosexuality guy is still saying things that are not correct. And so, okay, these might be the same person. They were never sort of active at the same time. They both made very similar statements. There were claims that, they were in Scotland. They weren't in Scotland. References to the Fourth Amendment, which would apply in America, not in Scotland. It was a whole thing. So I believe that it might be two people. They might be working together, but a lot of these accounts are run by the same person. So I told them, look, legal action is going to be pursued. This continues. And it did. A total of 5 fake accounts were made pretending to be me. Some of them had my image flipped, which is still copyright infringement. Some of them didn't. All of them made statements contrary to what I would have made. All of it was defamatory. Blammo. Now, at some point, and I'm going through the process of getting information to serve them either a cease and desist or an actual notice that they have to appear in court, depending on where they are, what my options are, a whole bunch of things. But the process has begun. As this was happening, another account shows up under the name Bobby Ross, saying, "Don't worry about which account I use. The truth will come out 1 p.m. Eastern today," which it didn't. And they admitted, "Oh, I didn't actually have anything." Now, this may have been a copycat, may have been the original guy. He backed down very quickly. So that's dissimilar to what Frankly did, but maybe they just realized the game was lost. We'll find out. And the fake account is still saying September 3rd, all the truth is going to be revealed. Now, my guess is that... Oh, Bobby Ross is here. My guess is that the September 3rd thing is, they're going to say, well, we looked up your military records. That's how long it took to get them back. And there are none. That's my guess. If they have my real name. they're going to find my records. If they don't have my real name, I assume they're not. That is it. That's how simple that is. So I assume we're not going to see anything at all. But that's where we're at. And nothing was provided. Nothing came to light. And that's the update. And so, now you know. Why isn't YouTube removed the fake account? Ask Barry, not playing games. It's a good question, because a lot of reports have gone into that, and it's very provable that it's impersonating me. I assume it's just understaffed. You know, a lot of stuff to deal with, of course. But yeah, SK says, I asked all of Scotland, they denied it. It's good to hear. So, Ben Lopez, thank you so much. Ben Lopez says, do you think this is tied together with some of the other DeWitt content channels being hacked and trolled? It's possible. I don't really consider it that likely. Channels get attacked all the time. This one happened to be more in depth than it usually is. Usually it's one individual and they back off right away. We don't usually see people making multiple accounts or getting their friends involved. It's happened. It's happened to me a few times. And it does happen. It's not like super rare, but generally trolls won't. Generally. Not the ones I deal with. But assuming that the other channels are actually getting attacked and this isn't just them trying to get attention, it is possible. I don't have any evidence that suggests that to be true. The alleged attacks on the other channels appear to be different than what I experienced. So maybe they're tailoring it to the channels themselves, or maybe it's just something different. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But that is a great question. There is a concern that maybe I should stop feeding trolls, and I understand that, and you guys are right. Generally, you don't want to feed the trolls. It's stupid, but I take a certain pleasure from it, and in many cases, I actually learn a lot from it. If someone's making a statement, and I'm like, I know that's not true, and I engage in discussion, and they're just presenting information that I believe to be false, and I do a bunch of research into it, either I learn that they're correct, or I learn that I'm correct, and it's a great motivator to do a lot of research. So I enjoy it. I also take some pleasure in just sort of letting them be stupid on the internet, watching them just make a fool of themselves and then publicly presenting it. For some reason, a lot of trolls don't like that. They don't like when I go, look at this. This is what they said on a public forum. They go, how dare you? I derive a certain amount of pleasure from that. Like, why are you upset? It's your words. Why are you upset that you said the thing? Weird, right? Sort of holding them accountable. It's kind of a thing I like to do, is hold people accountable. It's, having been law enforcement, that's kind of a big part of it. So, it doesn't change. Now, the mental toll. Yes, there is a mental toll. I keep hitting this. For most people, it's not going to be worth it. The mental toll is going to be too high. But I used to do this for real, in person, with real people face to face. And the mental toll is not significant over the internet, comparatively. In real life, it gets very frustrating. I've always sort of enjoyed watching people get exceptionally angry over things they shouldn't get angry about. It just, for some reason, my mind goes to, that's not me. I must be living a good life because I'm not that. I'm doing okay. And it puts me in a weird mindset like that, where I don't go and seek it out, but it doesn't necessarily trigger the correct emotions that it should, of anger and like, the outrage that you see in most people. So having dealt with it in person, online, it's not the same thing at all. And I know when to back off, and I know when I need a break, I know when to block them and that sort of thing. And I have people in my life that I can turn to if I'm like, I need to just de-stress with these people, talk to them, hang out with them, whatever. They monitor me. I monitor myself. I understand the concern. I'm really appreciative that you guys are looking out for me. I'm not going to stop engaging the trolls. I'm not. I do not recommend it. I don't think people should do it. I think I don't want to say uniquely capable, but certainly in a very good position to be able to handle it. But this isn't something you should try to find out if you're capable of handling it. as law enforcement, I found out, yep, I'm good at handling it. Boom, worked out. But you should not, I think, go out and try to find out, like, do I have this superpower? I'm going to jump off a building and see if I can fly. No, don't do that. Don't do what I do. It is bad for you. That's my recommendation. But I do appreciate the concern. I really do. You're looking out for me. Where are we going? Here we go. Steven, thank you so much. Says, glad I caught you live. Nice scarf. It's actually a jacket. It's a little smoking jacket. Thank you so much, though. Glad to have you here. So, people are laughing at a comment, and I want to know what it is, but I might not find out. It's all right. Reading through comments, because we don't have a plan. We're just giving updates. See Carl Go, thank you so much. If your real name isn't Blue Bacon, I'm going to cry. I have some bad news for you. Yeah, if you look up Blue Bacon, that's one of my favorite things. Like, I have your criminal records. I don't have a criminal record. I'm like, oh, well, obviously you found a different Blue Bacon. Did you? Or I'm going to get your I didn't find any records of you in the military. Like, yeah, because there is no Blue Bacon in the military. It's great. Anyway. So we're waiting for this 3rd of September. Yep. Yes, we are. We're going to find out. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Our case has serious question. How does one copyright internet content? Doesn't need to go to the government copyright office prior. Just curious. If it's art, written word as well. Creator has it. Boom. If it shows up on the internet, you can contact the service provider, the web host, and say, this belongs to me. You may have to go to court, prove that you are the owner. They will issue you a notice that you can then send to wherever it's been found, and then they are generally required by law to take it down. If I remember correctly, there's a specific set of laws for the internet that I think covers that, but they should take it down. Should. That's Sergeant Fiddler. Book recommendation. Reclaiming Fair Use, How to Put Balance in Copyright. That's fair. Now, fair use allows you to use stuff in certain ways without engaging the copyright gods. But the way they were doing it was not fair use. This was not a parody. This was not transformative content. If they would put like a goatee, like, oh, it's evil bacon, I would have respected that. I wouldn't necessarily have agreed with it, but I would have thought it was funny in its own little way. Like, it's got like a snidely whiplash. Is that right? The curly mustache. I would have appreciated it. I thought it was funny. Keep Me a Criminal, thank you so much. Says, this sounds like something an imposter would say. Tell us something only the real Blue Bacon would know. I can make up anything. You have no idea. Ask me a question. Ask me a question only the real Blue Bacon would know. You see. Irene, thank you so much, says, having worked in the jail for years, I've been called a lot of negative things by not so nice people. I am okay with that, but no one has tried to take my reputation. Not sure I wouldn't lose my crap. Hang on. That's fair. See, in jail, if they're being insulting, all you got to do is go, but I get to go home at the end of the night or morning or whatever your shift is, right? That's basically how I deal with that sort of thing. Like, okay, but guess what, right? Some people want to engage. In real life, I generally just go, okay. Right? I don't have the time. I got things to do. On the internet, I can come back to it whenever I want. So, yeah. A little bit of sass. A little bit of sass. JB. First letter J, last letter S. Am I right? You are not. But I appreciate the guess. Oh, Kyle Murphy. The real Donald Roth is here. I don't know if that is the real Donald Roth, but I know there are some accusations being thrown around. Huh. That's fine. Blue bacon sus. Where was I? I'm just going through the comments. It's a comment kind of a thing where I just read them. AR says, I bet it's taking a mental toll on them, though. Yeah, the effort they're putting into this is not insignificant, which is satisfying to me. Archangel for Truth says, hey, Blue, do you ever make fun of flat earthers? I've been known to suggest that maybe they don't have all their ducks in a row. I don't know that I've ever put out any videos specifically about it. I know it's been discussed on this channel during a live debate. But I've never directly commented on it with a prepared bit of information, like with an edited video, that sort of thing. But where was I? I'm sorry, going through the comments still. Jack Clegg, thanks so much, says, what was Amir's reason for not allowing you to call out Jeremy for stolen valor? Love your videos. Oh, thank you so much. He didn't give a reason. We don't know that it was Amir. I assume it's Amir. There was no reason. It's just, it's not going to happen. The condition of him showing up is that you will only discuss the crimes that he is currently being charged with. You will not discuss anything regarding military or regarding his claim of military service. Basically, it was specifically addressed. The rest was very vague. You're only going to talk about what he's being charged with currently. So we couldn't bring up his sex offender status. We couldn't bring up the felonies he'd been convicted of before. We couldn't bring any of that up. Just what he was dealing with right then, which was smart. He still managed to, make a fool out of himself, but Your smoking jacket? I think not. Rennie says this is her smoking jacket. Is that it? You put FO00? Those are not the same. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just getting confused. Melissa, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much for showing up. Dave Brown, I love it, says, blue bacon is black bacon again, roasting the trolls and got too close to the fire. Still blue. They got a little burned, though. And it's not over yet. Real name is Bluish Purple Bacon. San Phoenix says, I bet I can find a Blue Bacon's D214. I would love to see it, personally. Am I getting threats? No, I'm not getting threats against my person. But people are impersonating me and basically creating defamatory statements. So, threat to my reputation, but not directly. If it was a threat, this would be a criminal matter. I'd have gone to the police. But since it's a civil matter, I get to choose how this plays out. I have a lot more control in a civil case. Alert us when folks grow up so we can focus on DeWitt. So I have a video I want to film about DeWitt. It's nothing crazy, just a fun little thing that I hope to put out before he gets a plea deal. But we're not quite done. We got a couple more videos in us. Fortunately, he is in jail, so content has slowed. San Phoenix, you know what? I kind of do want you to make an evil blue bacon channel, as long as it's clearly not me. And you can use this the image as long as you put clear evil facial hair on it. I will allow it, but only for San Phoenix. And only for that one channel. Yeah. I'll allow it. Name where I got sprayed and with what? You mean when I got OC sprayed? In the park? My chair does squeak. It's a problem. I have some stuff to lubricate it, but I haven't lubricated it yet. What's my favorite color? Take a guess. Oh. I'm not going to tell you what's in there. I wasn't prepared to be questioned, says Keeping It Criminal. Room number when filming for Dr. I don't know that they had a room number. They had my my name in a little plastic thing. I don't think there was a number. How many pepper balls can you get in your mouth at one time? Oh, I see, Rennie. You're asking me to prove that I'm the real one. I got sprayed with OC spray at a park in Seattle. The name of the park I've forgotten. Cal Anderson Park. Ugh. Those jerks. How much did you pay for the pizza run when we got Jeremy's Pond canceled? I've never, Archangel for Truth, I've never arrested a flat earther. I have not. But, you know. See, Carl Go says, I'll give you, thank you, by the way, says, I'll give you $100 if you grow a Snidely Whiplash mustache. If I could grow one, I would. Danielle Marseco. I'm not going to read the question, but I'll answer it. Yes. CS News. All right, I think I've caught up. Did I miss any donations? I don't know. Well, all right, so that's the stream. That's it. Those are the updates. And this was the chance for the guy to come forward and be like, I actually do have information, but he hasn't. So, or past the time he should have. So what are we going to talk about? What's the, Oh, Dallas. If you get in contact with Rennie, she can probably, because I don't have the, a mailing address right now. I do, but I don't have a post office P.O. box. If you get it to Rennie, she can get it to me, and then I can send it back, signed. Probably, if she agrees to that. Yeah. When will I catch up with Vidler for the backstory? After the case is over, and I have confirmation that he is allowed to talk about it. I don't want to get involved directly with the officers until this is over, because I don't want there to be anything that DeWitt can use in his defense caused by me. Basically, I want him to establish that the officers were engaging in misconduct by sharing information that was not free to the public. And because of that, I am not making an attempt to reach out to them or contact them. I know I've stated on my streams I would like to at some point, once this has concluded, and we do a sort of a final whatever. If they agree to it, I would happily have that discussion. But not until it's done. And if they watch my stuff, presumably they know this. Was the name on the Dr. Phil sign your real name or Blue Bacon? I think it was the name that I gave them, which would have been my real name. Yeah. I think so. I didn't pay that much attention. I didn't really leave my dressing room. There's no reason to. And the reason I didn't actually want to is because I didn't want to encounter DeWitt and there to be some sort of altercation. Because I'm sure they have cameras in the hallways. You'd sign a thing that says when you are on the lot, when you are on I'm trying to think of what lot it was. Paramount. When you're on Paramount, you're filmed. And anything you do on that lot can be used in the episode. So if I start having a fight backstage, they can film it and they can use it. I didn't really want that to happen. I didn't want that the first impression of me to be that. So, meh, you know? It's a thing. Multiple Kermits to send. Do you have your current permit? Hi, Kelly. Did I talk privately to Jeremy at all? I didn't, actually. They kept us very separate. I have no idea where they were keeping him. I assume they have dressing rooms on the other side of the stage or something. I don't know. I didn't talk to him afterwards. They released me before they released him. I sort of went off and had donuts at Danny Trejo's donut place. He was not there, of course, but he has a chain of donut places, or at least one donut place, and the donut's pretty good. They put my name on Dr. Phil. For those asking, yes, James. So, Danielle says, you can tell this BS taking a lot out of you. Can't wait until the sassy blue comes back. Oh, this isn't like a sassy topic. I'm doing great. But, sassy is a whole different side of me. And there are certain topics where I'm just like, yeah, I'm real sassy about them. And somewhere I'm just not. I'm just super chill. You know what, John? I will waive the permit requirements this one time. Radical's facepalm cannon. Right? I started watching him a couple weeks ago. I started watching his stuff. And he's so sassy. The only time I talked privately to Jeremy was initially when I was emailing him to establish an interview, and then hopefully an interview after that, which didn't happen because the second interview I was going to be like, all right, cool. So I'm hearing claims that you were in the military. And he just instantly just got mad at me. Just instantly. He was very, very defensive about that. I was very polite because I was trying to do a series of interviews. I only ended up doing one that I cut into multiple sections because there was a audio corruption issue. And so putting it together was very time consuming. And Rennie, I still have to get you those files at some point. Not today, but at some point. Because there's still one more left. There's still one more chunk that was never released. Just because putting it together was too much work. Too time consuming, not enough. There wasn't anything coming out of it. Like the interviews were very meh. And it was supposed to be very meh at first. I wanted to build rapport. I wanted to be able to, build up to tougher questions over time. But unfortunately, he snapped at the mention of stolen valor. And it never happened. The interviews are still great, though, because now we get to see what was going through his mind and, how he justified it to himself. But at the time, people were very mad at me for not being very aggressive about them. And of course, I'm not going to be very aggressive. He's just going to hang up. He's going to stop talking. There's nothing keeping him there. That's not how you would conduct this at all. So, I had someone like, I was Special Forces. I would have done it differently. Like, then go contact him. I got to contact him because I was so neutral about it. Because the interview was so bland. There was a plan that didn't work. Oh, well. Now he's in jail. Not worried about it. But, yeah, it's a whole thing. Why didn't anyone call Jeremy out? Thank you, Jack, by the way. Why didn't anyone call Jeremy out for saying he was in the academy when he was in the Explorers? I don't know that we had all that information at the time. Information has certainly come out. A lot of information has come out since then. I think we knew that he was... Yeah, we definitely knew he was an explorer. We didn't know anything about the academy. And I wasn't really in a position to challenge it because I'd never heard him mention the academy before. I didn't know that wasn't true. But I just let it go. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I was actually a lot quieter than I could have been because when I was introduced on Dr. Phil, it was, here's a man who also has military experience. He wears some of these same badges. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not allowed to talk about that, though. I can't compare military experience. I can't. So I was very careful when I said, well, Dr. Phil, what I actually like to state is this. And I made my statement. I thought that was the best statement If I could get any bit of information out, that was what I wanted to get out. And then Jeremy, of course, continued to just provide so much content for the show. They didn't even need to come back to me. I did say more than what they showed, but it was mostly just introductory stuff. Like, so what do you do? How do you get involved? Right. They cut out most of that because it's not really that interesting. But I had my statement. I think it was a very good, succinct, direct statement. And Amir was across from me just going, like, he wasn't agreeing, but it was just like, this guy knows. This guy knows. But it's his job to defend Jeremy. So, I know a lot of people blame him. A lot of people think he's a snake, but welcome to lawyers. Defense lawyers. No, it's fine. Look, Jeremy's not going to get away with it. We already know this for a fact. Squeaky chair, squeaky chair. He's already in jail. He's already been sentenced to, multiple years. Great. The system works. So, Blue Bacon Evil, you did it. Yes. It's fun. It's good stuff. All right, what? Oh, God, it just updated. I hate when it does this. The rumors that Jeremy was secretly released to assist in the evacuation of Afghanistan, true. Heard Jenny was helping to pack his chute so there would be no chance of a popped riser. I like it. I like that. That's good. I need a pepperball gun to look tougher. You're right. Pepperball guns are neat. I like them. I think Jeremy shouldn't be carrying one, but I like them. Robert Carley, thank you so much. Donated to and says to use as you wish, and I will. However I like. Yes. Sergeant Vidler, you are correct. Says clean out that bladder. I assume you're talking about, I hope this, not my actual bladder, the Camelback, because it gets weird in there. And you're right. I thought I was smoking hookah with the hose. That's fair. No, that's fair. Hi, Dan. Did I say hi? I think you've been here already today. I just keep saying Blue Bacon Evil and it kills me. Dutch Doyle, good to have you here as well, of course. Always a pleasure. Hope things are good. Blue Bacon Evil says, I was also Special Forces. We painted and colored all day. Noise. What, Robert? I did. There's a delay. It keeps updating. So, I did mention your super chat. Unless I missed one. Hoping I didn't. Where was I? All right, what other questions do you have? My dog isn't here right now, unfortunately. She is elsewhere. I miss her. She probably doesn't miss me. Good riddance. It is a smoking jacket, toxigenic. It's very fun. We have fun here. I should sleep in the hammock. It's probably going to be a good night for that. Pat asks if they missed everything. You didn't miss anything. We're just rambling. I'm just reading comments and responding mostly at this point. Waiting to see if anyone shows up to present all this evidence, but I guess not. How much do I think Jeremy owes Amir? More than he can afford to pay back. I think Amir is going to take the house. Maybe not, but yeah. But it's a whole thing. where why don't I keep my personal identity so hush hush? Because of people like the ones I'm dealing with. I used to be less hush hush about. I mean, not like fully like completely open, but less hush hush. And people used it against me, and they tried, not because I had done anything wrong, because they just didn't like me, and they wanted to make my life difficult. And people have tried to get me fired. People have gone after my friends. No, which is why I'm very vague about certain things. Name, company, units I served with, certain dates, very vague about, because I know what could be used against me. So I try to sort of not put those out there. I just saw someone ask, what are the updates? Exactly. There are none. They backed down. They said, nope, sorry, there's nothing. So we're not going to, I guess not. I'm just waiting a little bit longer, not too much longer, but, shocking that they don't have anything. 127? Where's 127? 127. I'm not familiar with 127. 127 MP code. That's not like south, is it? Fort Carson. Huh. Vietnam. Speed and power. Yep, that checks out. So we're by some friends of mine. I won't reveal too much information. But anyway, I will pet my dog for you. Grift Kai. There's someone who's in. Hold on, where? Let me find it. KG91 is Fort Carson, or I think, unless I'm wrong about 127th. Oh, Fort Leonard Wood. It's okay. Fort Leonard Wood's okay. There are worse bases. It's not great though. Favorite part about Fort Leonard Wood, when I went back to go through MPI school, some soldier at the gate. I don't know who was in front of me when they gave the ID card. Soldier scanned it, checked the person, handed it back, and saluted so hard their feet left the ground. I swear by like a quarter of a centimeter. There was a choop. I don't know who that is. I don't want to know who that is. Back the car up a little bit. I don't want to be noticed. It's great. Oh, so good to watch. What's the agenda? We're on the fly. There is no agenda. I'm just waiting, seeing if they show up with any evidence. Bleh. At least Fort Drum's like, I don't know. I think it's cold, but it's not a bad base. Camp Casey. Oh, I haven't heard Camp Casey in a while. Yeah. Good times. I never went to Korea. I wanted to go to Korea. People are like, ugh, Korea. Like, no, Korea sounds like a lot of fun. But the curfew, like, I'm old. I'm not really that old, but like, I don't like staying out past 1 a.m. Stop it. There's nothing to do. Like, that's not true. I don't speak the language. They speak yours. Bleh, I'm away from my family. Like, bring them with you. It always sounds like a good time. Like, go out and travel and have fun, within limits, and do your job. But Korea, what a cool chance to experience an entirely different culture, But a lot of soldiers do not like that. I don't know why. Did I see the latest DeWitt video Real World put up? It was posted after he was in court. I didn't. Oh, yep. Fort McClellan, was that Alabama? Fort McClellan was the old one. They changed that in 99, I believe. James, thank you so much, says, what's the difference between camp, fort, and base? I mean, technically, there isn't one. Not anymore. I mean, there is a, okay, technically there's a difference. They are used so interchangeably that there isn't really considered to be one. It's, I think, generally the size. I assume camp is smaller than fort is smaller than base. But when you name something, like JBLM used to be Camp Lewis, I think. It then became Fort Lewis. Now it's Joint Base Lewis McChord. So the name has changed, but not every base changes their name. Because it's a process. They're like, well, we grew, but people know it as this. So why change it? Or it's the vernacular, the common vernacular of these words. It's just so intermingled. Doesn't really make a difference. But I think it's a size thing, but no one really uses it as a size thing. I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert, honestly. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have a better answer than that, but unfortunately, I don't. So, have I ever been parachute jumping? No. I'm not afraid of heights, but the idea of jumping out of a plane, I want to do it. I really do. I had the opportunity to have an opportunity. And I ended up sort of being like, oh no, I'm so lazy. I just won't do it. Oh no. Crazy me. No, I'd love to sometime, though. I really do. But Jogator34 says, in the U.S., most camps are National Guard installations. I feel like that checks out, in my experience. Researcher Susie, thank you so much, says, all the women in here that are crushing on blue bacon, back off. I'm his personal gardener. Well, you heard, look, Researcher Susie donated money, so it must be true. She is the alpha gardener. When's the last time I've been to Leonard Wood? Maybe 2016? No, 2017? I want to say 16 or 17. Maybe. I don't remember. It would have been around then. That would have been around the time I went through MPI school, which is in Leonard Wood. Yeah, the problem is there's nothing around it. There's like a couple really terrible clubs. Some okay food. Some really nice trails, though, on base. I did like those. There's some trails that have like the outdoor exercise equipment that I really enjoyed. And a nice track. But don't do anything wrong, because not only are there a lot of MPs there are a lot of very important MPs there. So, caution. So I'll jump into Fallujah. Oh, Lambert Airport is the best USO. I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I've never checked. I went to a USO recently, and because I was traveling, I didn't want to travel. At this point in time in history, but unfortunately, USOs are getting hit pretty hard because they can't actually like serve food anymore, and they were very upset. I was like, I was just popping in to look. It's been a while. And they're like, we're so sorry. We don't have like hot dogs. Like, you're good. It's fine. You guys are great. What? If I go to Leonard Wood, they'll toss me out of a helicopter? Count me in. That sounds like a good time. I'd love to do some rappelling. So much. Do you think Jeremy gets internet access in prison where he can watch your streams? If he gets internet access, I don't think it's going to be to videos. I think it's like email, maybe, monitored. Real slow connection. I don't think he's going to be able to monitor this stuff. Someone on the outside might, and then report information to him, but no, I don't think he's going to see it. Dan, thank you so much. But yeah. All right, what else we got, folks? What are the questions? Because I have zero plans. This was just all right, today's the day. Time has come and gone. Where is it? I know. It's a real boring stream. But I was hoping something would pop up, and nothing did, because I was going to react to whatever did pop up, and then people were like, but the stream will still happen. I went, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. Cool. But I got no plans. This is just, let's hang out. You know? If I was female, asks Max Powers, would I sleep with Jeremy if I had nowhere to stay? No. Maybe. I wouldn't sleep with him because I wanted to. But if I was in a position where that was my only option, and I not doing it would be, freezing to death in the street is the alternative, I'd consider it. Oh, one of my friends, one of the people I did drug suppression with, just saw my Dr. Phil clip. Anyway, good stuff. Yeah, all the BS Jeremy's talking to the other inmates, I bet there's a lot of it. I bet it is significant. Those poor inmates. What do I like to do in my free time? Hobbies, things to relax. I like to make things. I mean, my hobby is basically this. This is my hobby. But I don't know, I want to do some blacksmithing or something. I think that would be a lot of fun. But, most of my hobby is just writing scripts, making videos. It's a good time. Rennie's yelling at me. Clown World, thanks so much, says $5 to piss off CP. For those of you who missed the beginning, CP is someone who's very, very upset that I had the audacity to accept donations. Oh, my God. The horror. James K., thank you so much, asks if I can do my Dr. Phil impersonation again. What you tell me they... Hold on. I got to get something. I got to channel my inner Dr. Phil. Hold on. Let me look up something.
You're a marketing explorer.
Stab it.
You're constantly looking for new opportunities.
Listen to his voice. The problem with listening to his voice, then you get to compare it to my voice, which you're like, that's not right.
$1,000.
You gotta show it. It's a little southern. Sometimes he stumbles and he's sort of like, because you're doing this live. I can't. No, see, I lost it. I had it because it was stuff he actually said to me. You wore this medal. You were in the military. Nah, it's gone. It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It comes and goes. It's a fickle thing. But Dr. Phil's soundboard. Oh, yes. But, questions. More questions. Are you freaking out because I'm trying to decide if I would sleep with Jeremy if it was life or death? I would weigh my options. I will not say yes, though. Preferred sidearm. She's texting me again. Squeaky chair. Choose violence. Dr. Phil. I was always a SIG guy. Because that's what I sort of started on. I love the look of our M9s, the Army's Beretta 9mm. But they're big and they're clunky and they're heavy. Not great. But cheap. Good for the price. But big, clunky, heavy. I was fortunate enough when I was doing drug suppression, and then again when I was doing military police investigations, to get a SIG P228, which is a compact SIG Sauer that is a little older, Mine actually said made in West Germany, which has not existed since 1991. So, a little old, but good weapon. I always liked how it shot, how it felt, the weight, the size, whatever. Hit the buzzer if you love your gardener. Thank you, researcher Susie. But the SIG P320 that the Army now uses, that they swapped the Beretta 9mm, the M9 for, it's actually really nice. Like, wow, very affordable too for a SIG. So I'd say my preferred one would be the P320. Glock is a very nice functional weapon. I just don't like the look. And if I have to choose between a $500 Glock and a $500 SIG, I'm taking the SIG. Now, SIG generally isn't $500. It's a pricier brand, but the P320 was going for $5 or $6. Maybe it's not anymore. I don't know. But that would be my choice. Really, the best firearm, the best sidearm is the one that you know, the one that you practice with, the one that's going to hold up. So while I'm not saying that if you get a $100 pistol and you practice with it a bunch, maybe that's not a great firearm, but you get a reasonable, good brand, good price, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's a $500, $300, $1,000 pistol. If you put two pistols in front of me and one was one that I had practiced on, for 1,000 hours, one that I'd never touched, I'm probably going to be better with a 1,000-hour one. Not necessarily true, but that's what I would choose. Pick what works best for you. For those of you who are wondering, if you're looking for a recommendation, this is not it. This is just what I personally use because of my history with them. Not because of any technical aspects of it. Just my personal history. So. But, Walther PPK. Noise. But there's that. Oh, hold on. What? Hold on. What? Oh, is that who's asking? How I got into JD is the question being asked, apparently. I'm just confused by the way it was written. It's fan. KG91, I'll tell you in a second. Okay. Yes, because I was rambling. That's why I missed them already. How I got into Jeremy, Real World Police released the initial video on Jeremy. I went, oh, that's funny. Right? I watched Real World Police, good channel. Released a second video. I went, that's funny. And then it became clear that this was a big deal. People were getting very, very excited about this. Around the time I think that the video was found where he was the ambulance for WWE, I was like, people are getting real intense about this. And I don't think they understand why this is a huge deal. It's very entertaining, but I don't think they realize the exact issues and how big of an issue this is. And so I made a video, and it was a throwaway video. It wasn't supposed to be anything. It was like I was changing out my where I was doing my stuff, my filming. The lighting was bad. The camera wasn't great. It was just not good. But the information was good. And then all of a sudden, here I am being asked for more. People are just flocking to that video. It's getting so much attention. So I go, oh, okay, I'll do another one. And then I started streaming. And that wasn't the first stream that I did, but it was certainly the first one that I took really seriously. And I just sort of started getting into this. And as more stuff came out, I started going over what it all meant and breaking it all down. So a lot of people accuse me, oh, you just steal, other people's content. Well, I utilize other people's content to break it down in a technical aspect, right? To turn it from entertainment to actual education. And I've talked to Mr. Horowitz, the guy who runs Real World Police, and he approves it. He says, nope, I have no issues with it. Even if he did, it is transformative content. It is protected by fair use. But I would certainly be a little more cautious and maybe respectful about how I used it. But yeah, that's basically it. I just became the go-to guy for information, in a sense. Not necessarily entertainment, but information. Right? I'm not here to entertain you about it necessarily, although I do try to make it entertaining. I'm here to teach you what is happening within the left and right limit of the law. And that's sort of how it started. Then it just sort of kept going. And here we are. Why didn't I go CID? I did actually apply for CID, KG, and then they lost my packet. And the packet is a time-consuming process. I had to pay money to get the whole, like, some of the information they were requesting in time, because there are time constraints when you do the packet. You can only submit it so many times. It was such a hassle. And I thought I wanted it, but at the time I was dealing with a really bad sergeant. Really bad sergeant. Like, we're talking criminal bad. He actually committed crimes. And just the way the situation was being handled, and the way that I had been thrust into it, I'm not saying it was wrong, but it was something that made me think, I don't want to reapply. I think I want out. I think I'm coming up to the end of my contract. I never intended to make a career out of the military. I never intended to get, to do what I did. I didn't mean to be MPI. I didn't mean to be DST. I didn't ask for either of those. I was given them. The only thing I actually tried to get was the crime suppression unit on JBLM. And that's how I got MPI. I didn't really have a choice in that. I'm not upset about it by any means. It was great. But I really like patrol work. It's tons of fun. It's a lot more action than investigating. Although investigating has its own satisfaction of, tracking someone down, the mental mind games and all of that. Patrol work is just much more fun. In some cases, not every case. But I applied, and then that situation hit where it's just leadership in the unit just instantly just bleh. And I was like, I don't like not being able to remove myself, right? A civilian job, I could be like, you know what? No, I'm done here. And it was not me. I was not the problem, but I was the one reporting it. So I was directly involved in a sense. I don't really want to go into it. It's not something I like to relive. It was very, I don't want to say traumatizing, of course not, but it was I think probably the lowest point in my career was reporting a crime, multiple crimes, terrible crimes, that the sergeant in charge of me, who I trusted, who I looked up to, had committed. A sergeant who was an MP, who knew better, who used his position to accomplish things he wouldn't have been able to accomplish without that position. Just absolutely disgusted me. And I hated it. And that was a major contributing factor as to why I went, nope. No. Nope. And I'm like, I'll just go FBI. They get paid better anyway. Because I wasn't ready to deal with it for the paycheck that I got. Not again. I got what I wanted out of the Army. I'll go FBI. And then I got a different job offer, which led to a different job offer. And I'm very happy with what I have. I got stuck here in Seattle, thanks to some very wonderful people in my life. And the FBI would have moved me around a lot. And I was just, you know what? No. Change of plans. I got something good here. As exciting and fun as it would be to be FBI, I've lived that life. I'm good. Yeah. Personal stuff. Very personal stuff. But not like bad personal. Just, sorry, I'm getting into my own head right now and just reliving some of it. Just, yeah. But I did apply, and then they lost my packet. And then I was like, all right. Not again. So, but that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Hold on. Ugh, my neck. Scott says, Glocks are a great gun, but everyone I know who has shot themselves did it with a Glock. Glocks don't have safeties. So I can see why that might be the case. So. Oh, yeah, and I can't have a beard in the FBI. Can I not? Samantha Sargent says, there's a reason most soldiers I've ever known in my life have a habit of calling MPs military pricks. Some of them are. A lot of them are great. But, it only takes one to make everyone unhappy. Because you don't talk about the MPs that did a good job. You talk about the ones that were just terrible. You continue to tell that story. I've had an overwhelmingly good experience with police, to include military police. And I think a lot of that is because I know how to talk. And you can make an argument that's because I'm a white male. You could. We're not going to get into that. But I know how to interact with police safely. And I try to impart that knowledge to all of you. And it's always a little disappointing when people reject what I have to say because I'm a white male, because I was a police officer. When in reality, no. And those may be factors, but they're not the main factor. If an officer comes up to your car and you go, I don't want to talk to you. Or, whatever. I regret using that voice because some people think it has an implication of a certain race, which is not true. Let me rephrase it. If an officer walked up to my car and said, I'm not going to talk to you, officer. I hate your guts. They're probably going to work harder to maybe find something. Whereas if I go, oh, officer, hello, have a lovely day. They might not try so hard. It's fine. I apologize for the voice. There was no intent there. It was just I'm pulling directly from experience. I'm not trying to apply it to an entire group. That is personal experience. That direct thing. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But yeah. Some of them aren't great. But they're people, man. And that's not an excuse. It's an explanation. It's not an excuse. And although they're people, we have to understand that they're people. That doesn't mean that they should not be held accountable by any means. But police are people. Aaron says, I find that yes sir, no sir, here's what you need sir helps a lot. Not just with police. And it helps when the yes sir, no sir, here you are sir, is accompanied by a knowledge of what the police can and cannot request or order you to do. So you do see people that are doing everything right, and then officers like, there's something weird here. Right, I smell the odor of marijuana. There's something illegal in your seat, or do you mind stepping out of the vehicle? And they go, I'm not stepping out. Well, now you're wrong, and now it's gonna go from this is nice to Billy Jones, thank you so much. Billy Jones says, you are a strange and beautiful man. Oh you. I always had a good time with the MPs because you were in Kuwait because you were giving them Canada flag patches. Yeah, I would do it. That's not gonna. You're not gonna bribe me out of something, but I am probably gonna be a lot friendlier. I had someone confused today on my channel, been like, "Oh, you're saying that being nicer to cops produces nicer cops? Oh, so now you're just okay with them violating rights?" And like, no, you're correlating niceness to correctness, right? An officer can be a jerk and still be correct. But wouldn't it be nice if he was nice and correct? Just a thought. Personally, I think so. But I digress. Where was I? All right, one more request for information from me. One more round of questions, and I gotta get out of here. As I see if I'm getting any. No, all right. Female officers. Oh, I had my favorite interaction with an officer. I was on the ramps team, so I got to do the random inspections of vehicles, it was in the winter though, so it was very cold. That was a problem. And we'd have, there's this master sergeant who's like, I don't like that you're pulling me out in the cold. What are you doing? I don't like this. I don't like that you're doing this. I don't like that there are inspections. And I went, Master Sergeant, if you'd like to complain about this process, this is my name, my rank, my unit. Please file a complaint. Because you're out of your vehicle for at most 5 minutes. We are out here for 8 hours. We don't want to do this either. So if you could complain and it stops this from happening, that's the name. I'd said it much more professionally than that. Because, it's more of a punishment to not complain. Like, yeah, now there's not a complaint against me, but I still have to do this. I enjoyed it, though. It got cold, but I enjoyed it. A lot of little adventures. But I was doing it on the McCord side, because JBLM is Joint Base Lewis-McChord, Lewis being Army, McCord being Air Force. So there is a little co-intermingling. And a JAG officer, female JAG officer comes through. And I say, good morning, ma'am. You have been randomly selected for a vehicle inspection. I'm going to have to ask you to step out of your vehicle, open all doors and the trunk, as well as any compartments within the vehicle, and then step to the side, at which point we will inspect your vehicle and document your name and driver's license number. Once that has concluded, you'll be free to go. Right? Something like that. That's pretty close to the actual spiel. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. She goes, no. I go, excuse me, ma'am? She goes, well, that's unconstitutional. You can't search. I can tell you not to. I went, yes, you can tell me not to, ma'am. But the problem is that it's 8:45. I don't think I told her it was 8:45. So, but if you decline to the search, we will actually not let you enter the installation. What? But I work here. You can't stop me from going to work. Well, actually, ma'am, you see that sign behind you that you passed? That one says that all vehicles and persons entering the installation are subject to search, and therefore you did have a warning. This is a consensual. What was it? What was the term I used? It's implied consent, right? You have agreed that upon passing that sign, you will be subject to search. You are in the military. Therefore, you are subject to military regulations. This base actually has a blue book. In that blue book, it says that all soldiers are subject to search. So I have you on that sign under 50 U.S.C. 797 and, the blue book, which would be whatever the Air Force's equivalent of our, I think, Article 92, right? That would be fairly to obey a general order, which means I could detain you for even longer. As far as your Fourth Amendment, which I assume is what you are bringing up, that protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. Because this is a military installation with a lot of classified information, weapons, documents, personnel, etc., the search isn't unreasonable. You are not targeted because this is random. And if you decline this search after all of that information, I will turn you around. I will put out a bolo, which is be on the lookout for your vehicle and your ID. And any other gate, to include the Fort Lewis side, that you enter, you will be stopped. And the same thing will happen. Your vehicle will be searched eventually. So we can do it now, or you can try to play this game, go to another gate, and you'll still be searched. What is your decision, ma'am? I'll let you search it. Thank you, ma'am. Right? She thought I was some dumb MP, but nope. I knew what I was doing. Oh, it was so sad. She was just like, what? And I'm sure I wasn't as eloquent as that. Actually, it was very smooth. I remember being very smooth when I did it. I just bam, bam, bam. It's much easier to do it when the sign's actually there and you can read it and go that part and that part. 50 USC 797. All personnel are subject to search. Familiar with 50 USC 797? Okay, so that's actually federal law. It allows the base commander to determine what actions are reasonable and necessary for base security. Now, this is one of the actions that has been determined necessary, and you have been warned and alerted to that fact by this sign that you have driven past, I assume, every single day that you've been here. So this should not be anything new or confusing to you. And she was just, it was so satisfying. So satisfying. I tell this story all the time. Some of you probably heard it. What else? Stand in the red box. We didn't have that, I don't think. Did we? I don't think we had a box from the stand in. We just said step on the curb. Oh, the Uber drivers were the worst. Oh, because they didn't want to do it because it was costing them time and money and etc. And they also had to get a pass. So sometimes they'd switch with the passenger and have the passenger drive in and sponsor them on. You can't do that. If you sponsor someone on base like that, you have to stay with them the entire time. You can get them a pass, right? But the Uber drivers didn't want to do it, many of them, because they had to go in the morning and get like a 24-hour pass. And we were working on dealing with that. And there had to be a background check every time. And every time they came through, if they didn't have the pass, and they were just, some of them are so livid. But we'd catch them and be like, hey, there's an Uber sticker on your vehicle. Are you driving for Uber? No. Okay, so how do you guys know each other? We're friends? Okay. Sir, step out. What's his name? Jake? If I ask him his name, is he going to tell me Jake? Why are you hesitating, sir? There should be no question if his name is Jake. Okay, let me check. You stand right here. Let me check real quick. And then you go over to them. Sir, can you tell me your name? Paul? Interesting. Right? Or, it's my brother. Like, that man is Indian. You are not. That was an actual thing. That actually happened. There was one. They tried it. Like, you are not the same race. I think it was Indian. And there were a couple of them that like would try this. You'd know their faces. You were familiar with them. Or, you know, they take down their Uber thing and be like, I know you. You drive for Uber. No, I don't. Why do you have 2 cell phones? That's an Uber thing. Like, yeah. Cool. And then we get to yell at them and the soldier because they get real mad. And be like, you're threatening base security. Like, this is a military installation. You troop, you know better. Walk. You got legs. You do ruck marches. Your barracks are not that far away. You can walk because he's not coming in. You're actually barred from post for the next 24 hours, whatever, right? You know this is wrong. We've talked to you before. Don't tell me we haven't. I know your face. We have your ID written down, actually. Did I? I don't know. Probably not. We have it written down. We know you. You want to be banned permanently? You want to, get here and be like, oh, no. Oh, they want me to go to JBLM. You want to have that conversation with them? I hope you like 1-star reviews. So you can either do it properly or you're done, right? We got to in their face, not in their face, but it was very loud. There's this one guy, civilian, Patton, an older gentleman, real no nonsense, and one of the Uber drivers talked back to him, and Patton gave him a few chances to be like, "I need you to calm down, sir." No, I will. You can't stop. And you just get the hell off my base. Do not come back. You ever come back, you will be arrested by these MPs for trespassing. Something like that. I don't know if he was allowed to do that, but the whole thing was so beautiful. I miss that. People talk about like, oh, you were only a gate guard. Like, I actually was rarely a gate guard. I'd like to hang out at the gates, be like, that tint's illegal. Sir, you can't have your license plate mounted like that. Mostly if it was like a slow night at 3 a.m, Like, they'd call me something, I'd respond to it, but I'd hang out at the gates and just be like, sir, ma'am, that's illegal. That's an illegal modification of vehicle. Great time. So I got to deal with this a lot. I got to observe it and be involved. Oh, so good. But people are like, oh, the gate. Like, the gate's actually a lot of fun if you do something with it, right? If you actually are proactive. Tons of fun. But, Oh, Baseface, thank you so much. 50-50 that search. You didn't miss much. I'm actually, unfortunately, I'm wrapping it up. We're just asking some questions. I'm telling some stories. But yeah. Oh, it's on the flight line. Of course it's on the flight line. Yeah, I didn't go on the flight line. I've been on the flight line like 3 times. We weren't allowed without their explicit express permission. Yep. All right, I got one more story and then I'm done. One more story. This is a good one. Speaking of flight lines, I think you'll appreciate this. I was off this day. I think I was off base, like the one day that week. And some guy who was south of the base, he was a drug user. He's like, I'm out of heroin. I'm going to go to my drug dealer. Sorry, I just read the Hooker and Below comment. We'll have to do a stream where I just tell stories. You ask me stories, I'll tell them. This is going to be the last one. He started driving to his heroin dealer, but of course he's on heroin at the time. So he forgot that his car was out of gas. So, drives off the, into the breakdown lane. And he's near a parking lot, I don't want to say a parking lot, but a lot for trucks, semi-trucks. So he goes in there and he starts checking them for keys, and he finds one that has keys. But the reason it's parked in that lot is because his brakes don't work. So he's driving down the highway, realizes that the brakes to this semi he's just stolen are gone. There are no brakes. Or they give out, or they were about to give out and they gave out. And he's like, what do I do? I know. I'll slow myself down by driving through some fences. So he veers off the road and starts driving through backyards, through people's fences. Now, unfortunately for him, at least one of those fences was the fence to a military installation. So, it might have been a truck stop. That's probably the word I'm looking for, one board Canadian. So he crashes through the flight line and just parks his truck, looks up, and sees a parachuting exercise. Basically, they were practicing some parachuting because this is a military base. He doesn't realize this. He's like, oh, so they build a new airport? He's on heroin. He doesn't know, right? He's in parachuting. He goes, it's the government. They're after me, as if that's how the government would come after you, right? So he runs. He tries to find a building. Meanwhile, every security anything on the base is converging on him in everything that they have. And he's trying to get to a locked building, and they get to his truck first, find out that he's left his wallet with his ID on the seat. Oh, thanks. Then they find him, and I don't remember what his response was. I think they found drugs on him as well. His response was just something crazy. Are you going to kill me? I don't know. And they arrested him, and it was just, what? It's just the craziest thing. Air brakes should have beeped at him if they didn't work. Well, yeah, you're assuming that he knows what that beeping would have meant. Oh, yeah, he just crashed through the flight line because he's a crazy person and thought the police were airdropping to him. Just probably DeWitt, probably DeWitt dropping in to stop him. I'd have to look up the news report on that to remember the exact details because I don't have the police report. But it was a good time. Anyway, that's all I got time for, guys. I got stuff I need to take care of, obviously. Nothing happened. We didn't get the evidence. So, but we'll have to do another chill stream sometime. Let me know what you want for a real stream where I actually prepare for it. But it's always great to have you guys here. Thank you so much for being here. Being supportive during these trying times. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the kind words. The funny jokes, all that good stuff. You guys are fantastic. I'm proud to have the best subscriber base ever. It's fantastic. It really is. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have yourself a wonderful, Wednesday? Wonderful Wednesday. Until the next time, you know how it is. Be good. Stay safe.